This one's going to be a long one. I was in a band called SGS. This was about 13 years ago that it started, something like that. So the way I met the singer, I was already with my ex, well, now ex, at the time not, and I was pretty much done playing music forever, flatly. Like, I'm not even joking. I was damn close to the point where I met this guy at a show and we talked. We got along great. And he was a drummer, that's what we needed. So I'm like, alright, if I'm gonna do it. But it took months. I had his number, I never used it. I ran into him at show number 2. Again, I was getting along awesome. Didn't call him. Wasn't gonna do it. Ran into him at the I think I ran into him at a third. Then I'm like, alright, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it by my rules this last time. So I'm like, alright, if you wanna do it, come over this day and we'll try something. So he comes over. Me and my ex have our stuff set up upstairs. Now, normally it would be set downstairs. For butt lock, it was set downstairs. But we did upstairs this time. So he set his drum kit up right in front of the front door, facing in. I start playing something that I have from years ago. No lyrics to it. My ex knows it a little bit, she jumps in. He feels it out, jumps in. Next thing I know, his voice hit like a sledgehammer. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Alright. Holy shit. You know what? Let's go through this all the way once. See if he can keep that up. His drumming is insane. His vocals are nuts. And we didn't ask him to do this. He's coming more than prepared. He's coming for our heads. Shit. Alright, so at that point, I'm like, alright, let's write some shit. If he can do that, let's see how he really is on spot. Because if he can, he's not showing me up. I write all the time anyway. Let's do this. I'm like, play a drum beat. He did. I locked in. She locks in. Motherfucker starts singing again. I'm like, dude. By the end of the night, if bro watches this, he knows. Basically, I was like, holy shit. I don't think he knew how won over I was. But I've been playing for a long time at that point. And getting people that get it, that can lock in, that can jump in and do their own thing, and it matches what you do, that doesn't happen, right? Most of the time. It's like 1 in a million, and I stumble across that. Now, we're playing for maybe a few months. We probably had like 20 songs. 20, 25 at this point. But we only needed 11 or 12 for our first show. Now, some people aren't going to like what I say in this next part. They're going to think it's misogynistic. They're going to think it's this. They're going to think it's that. I really don't give a shit. The show was booked by a woman that happens to be a cokehead. She was then. She is now. She was a skank then. She's a skank now. There's really no difference with this woman. Between all that time ago and now, unfortunately. But she put one together, she put us on it, and it was at a place that I loved to play beforehand. It was called the Screaming Eagle, now it wasn't. It changed its name, and it changed its layout, and bought the place next door and changed ownership. So the place that I used to love playing is now unfamiliar. It's much more open, and they have a different clientele, even though this is a college town. And with that, that changes things up. I mean, the whole show was just set up in a weird way. None of the bands together, none of the bands there should have been on a bill together. It makes no sense. And I'll tell you why. Alright. So since my girl was in the band, and Richie had a signed wedding dress from Tesco V. You know, it had Tesco V's from the Meatman signature on it, right? So, I'm like, alright. I'm gonna wear a brown wig. We're gonna be a woman band tonight, just for the hell of it. I mean, our name was Skeevy Goiter Stabbers. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was something for everyone anyway. We were doing our own thing. We were singing fucked up shit. And I wanted to do a show that no one would forget. Now, we had a security guy with us, which was just a friend of Richie's, and, you know, great dude. Love the dude. But he was fucking with me all night. I had the set list written on my back. So no matter what, him behind the kit, he could always see it. If I step forward, she can always see it. We don't need to look at anything, we can just go. Because I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if it's going to turn sideways. I don't know if it's going to implode. I don't know if it's going to cause a fight. I don't know shit. Right? But it wasn't going to stop me from doing whatever it is we were doing that night anyway. Right? So the set finishes. Next guy goes up, and he's some electronic guy or whatever, using basically like video game samples and shit. And it's like, alright. So, usually, with a show, if you aren't sure, you kind of expect some aftermath. But the aftermath was not from us playing. The aftermath was actually a lot of other bullshit that includes Ypsi people. You know what I'm saying? People from Ypsilanti. Now, not everyone from Ypsilanti's bad or whatever, but this night there were some problems. And there was this young kid, younger than me, younger than my drummer, and he goes up to my drummer and almost gets him in some shit. You know, not that he was trying to fight him or anything else, but he almost dragged him into a situation. While there's another guy that's roaming the place with somebody that's basically just one giant muscle and angry because of my ex not printing shirts for him. And they were trying to intimidate. And then the person that booked the show got on their side, too, because she's an untrustworthy bitch. And if you watch this, you can go fuck yourself. Right? And that's really the case for it. Thank you for giving us that show. But there's other stories with this sea hag. Okay? That I usually don't call women that, but this one deserves every name I can call her, and some that I haven't even thought of yet. Okay? That's really where I'm at with this woman. She did book the show, but she invited all the bullshit that came along with it. I mean, the show did get us in house shows in the future, which were awesome times and got us to meet some good people, but at the same point, you know, it was due to us being around more than her making it happen, because I was around before then and I've been around after then. You get what I mean? But that show, that night, that meant something to all of us, and that changed everything. That sparked stuff and bands out here, I think. Like, every time we played with the state, or if any bands of that caliber that, you know, came before us that were still bringing it hard as hell. You know what I mean? I think that shows what, even though I'd already played with the state at this point a few times, I think it showed kind of, we aren't messing around. We're here for keeps. And we're going to do what we're going to do, and you're going to like it. You know, just kind of forcing it down their throat, because that was our style at the time. I was angry. He was angry. And, you know, not going to say my ex was. She had her own issues. And then when his ex came in and joined up, you know, she was just a metronome. She was great in that way. She wasn't really writing anything or anything else, but she could match what we're doing, at least time-wise. So that was a big help, and it let, you know, my boy just do his thing. And let's all just do our thing. Right? So, you can say whatever you want, but anyone that was there that night, if you ask them, they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the other bands. They will remember us. I know, because I've had those conversations, and it's weird. It's just doing something different, doing something your own way. You know what I mean? That's a huge thing, and something that a lot of people don't realize, that it's that huge of a thing, that you can just do it. Yeah, not everyone's going to like it. Yeah, there's repercussions. There's repercussions, good and bad to everything. You know, good repercussions, bad repercussions. That night, we avoided the bad ones, luckily, because I thought I was going to get my head caved in. You know what I'm saying? I might be small, I might be scrappy, yeah. But I might need a blade where he just needs a fist. Why I need a blade is he's so big. Taller than me, I can't reach anything, nope. You know what I'm saying? Not well, anyway. And his muscles as big around as my torso, not for real, but it felt like it, you know what I'm saying? So, I was able to kind of smooth that, and that's also the night that kind of got me to be a middleman for people, because there's people I couldn't stand that I didn't like and whatever else, but if problems were to pop up, I could have a talk even with those people and squash the problem pretty fast. And not due to threats or anything else. It was just due to what people had seen and seen what I was willing to do, and that I didn't rat on anybody for anything, you know? So, that's really what it came down to. And that show, like I said, changed everything for a long time. I was already doing the magazine and everything else, but, you know, there was nothing like us then. You know what I mean? And that's not me blowing my own horn. There just wasn't another band out there like us. Not in my area. You know, and not, if there was, it wasn't for a long time beforehand. And that's because we did what we wanted in our own way. And we're influenced by our own things and our own styles. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's supposed to be, coming together. And that's what made that night special. It was me and Richie coming together and, you know, my ex, and doing our thing. All of our thing individually, but at the same time. Might sound weird, but that's exactly what it was.